it's starting. It already started. Hi, Hey guys. What's up? How's it going? Welcome back. We got
Hi guys, I'm back.
we got Lulu here, back at it again.
I couldn't stay away.
You should get a little bit closer to the mic over here. That was a funny little intro. Okay, so what are we gonna work on today, guys? I wanted to ask your opinion. So we'll make a little straw poll. Do we continue with what we did last live stream, this area, just continue working our way along here? Do we work on this area starting
They're all saying hi to me.
yes, everyone's saying hi to Lulu. Do we work on this area here that place some buildings around the edge and make another upper island here? Or do we work some more in the down below area over here, like kind of where we did 2 live streams ago, like extending from here? So I'm gonna link the straw poll in the chat. Let's let me know. Let's vote real quick. Again, the options are: do we want to work up here, continue from last live stream, do more of this kind of stuff? Do we start some just like placing edges and ploppable surfaces and things around here, just do some very rough work? Or do we detail down in a lower area? So that's what the options are. Let's give it
You
a
have
minute.
to take the poll that was sent.
I'll link it again. How's everyone doing today? Just so you know, this upper island that I see everyone's voting for, we're not going to get into really any detailing if we do that. It's going to be very like just how do we set up like all these like retaining walls and
Where do you think like the most fun thing that we could build would go?
well, there's some unreleased stuff. There's some stuff I'm working on that would be the most fun to build, but can't really do that.
Well, that's not fair.
I know. It's always the new stuff that's I wish I could do in a live stream, but it's just kind of for an episode. It's already like half done over there. Been giving away too much. Let's refresh this poll.
Yeah, people really want the upper island, huh?
It's still refreshing over here. Internet's not looking so great. This upper island seems to be winning. Rust Bucket, what's up, man? It's good to see everyone here.
Some people
$2, what up? Well, we're voting on what we're gonna do. So there's a straw poll that I linked. So either you can work on continue from last live stream up here. Can work to just make the bare bones of an upper island up here. Or we can work down here and do some detailing in the lower area. So,
Everyone's saying hi to $2.20.
yes, $2.20 right here in the chat.
Oh, hi, $2.20.
It's
Yay.
looking like if my thing would refresh, like the internet is not very happy. I'm surprised you guys are not complaining that it's lagging. Maybe a little bit. Sorry if there's a creaking noise. Okay, so if we are going to do this, we have to do some thinking about it first, because there's a pretty big spot. Like, do we make a road that goes maybe through here and make it into a couple smaller spots? Maybe we bend this road instead of going this way, we have it go straight along here. I think let's start off by doing that.
Is this the upper area?
This is the upper area, which seems to
Where
be the
all the
winner.
rich people live?
Well, this is just going to be like see how this is right here? This is kind of what we're going to be doing, is making some walls to it, some bottom pieces, and placing down some grass and some paths maybe.
Okay. Oh wait, Chua Blezazoo. That's a funny name. Said, hey, I got recommended your first Mars vid and have been binge watching all of your series since. I love your content and the amazing work you do. Keep up the great content.
Thanks, man. So I'm just trying to move these roads so that we can kind of have like a straight instead of this weird angle thing up here that's going on, you know? So this road tools mod, I actually found out about this like way too recently, where you can add and remove nodes. It's great.
Dan Kooplinger said you should make a kind of upper class aquarium.
That'd be pretty crazy.
That could be cool.
Could be cool.
Are there fishes in this game?
There's some prop fish, yeah. There's some fish in this pond here, see? But they don't really do much. They're just koi fish, I think. There is a zoo that's part of like the one of the expansion DLCs for this game, and it's not really the most fitting for Mars, I would say. It's like kind of like an old style zoo almost. I don't know if that makes sense. It's auto saving. It's like if it was built on Earth in like the 60s or the 50s or something.
I don't know if that really makes sense to me.
Well, it's like old buildings, like, you know, it's
Okay.
not. It's you have to find particular buildings that work for this.
Okay, wait, you have another fan. Sea Fight said, I've been following your series for the past couple of months in quarantine, and I gotta say, you've really inspired me to get into design. Hopefully, I will start my own build soon.
Awesome. It's fun starting a new build. It's one of the most fun things.
Ooh, I like this idea. Tank Blaster 1. I think the upper island should be a 2-level island with a golf course on top and some tennis and soccer fields on the bottom.
Yeah, you know, that's not a terrible idea, because I was planning on having a lot of this area along the back of this crater face here be that kind of stuff. So it could be cool making this island like sort of starting to be part of that.
Yeah, the people really want some like recreational sports arenas and stuff. Seems like that's the consensus.
Yeah, well, I do think that this is that part of the city for sure, because where is... There we go. A little bit of... You turn on anarchy, road anarchy.
Steger said he's been watching your series since you had 20 subscribers.
It is true, actually.
Long-time fan.
Steer has been around since like August, maybe, something like that.
Is that when you started?
Something like that. Old school fan, yes, definitely. So we actually should probably get rid of this node here. Something like that. So basically, this is obviously going to be a stop here. So before we can really build anything, we have to set up where this cable car stop is going to be, and like there needs to be a road that goes through here, right, in order to get connection to it, and like a path goes all the way around the island. There's like a lot of setting up that we need to do here. So I guess let's start with a pedestrian path around the side. So where is the closest one to connect to? See, this is so annoying, this bug. Every time I load in the game, even if I place this path right here, I mean, you can see what it was trying to attach to. It's
oh my god, Charlie Zane is here. He wants to know how his spa is doing.
Spa's doing
Sorry.
great. But these nodes always raise themselves back up with this pedestrian path. It's very annoying.
I missed that, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
So something like this. All these like pillars will obviously be replaced at some point.
Chewable Zoo says maybe you could make a grand movie theater with a large plaza or something. I like that idea.
That's a cool idea. It does need, maybe this could be like an area with like, yeah, like a big theater or an opera house or a concert hall or something like that.
Yeah, I think you need more like fun stuff to do. Sounds like.
Yeah, that could be cool. But to be honest, we're a long ways off from actually building anything here. There's like a lot of legwork that we have gotten ourselves into. So that was just some terraform network to hold down the terrain, because this building obviously is raising it up.
Ryan, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Lacosade, big fan of yours, been following your channel since the Kobayashi days. Can't wait to see how the colony will look when you're finished.
I know, I can't wait for that either, to be honest. It's gonna be cool. It's like you can already get glimpses of it, you know, like how like larger and larger areas are gonna be. It's gonna be cool.
People were throwing around the idea of a drive-in theater, but then Lumoy's Arts pointed out that there are no cars.
Yes, that's very true. Drive-in theaters are in these days, though.
Chewable Zoo said maybe a Sydney Opera House style thing. I think that could be really cool. I like that style.
Yeah, that could be cool. Definitely.
Miracle Novelist said this series reminds me of Altered Carbon, which you've gotten before.
Yes, and I still have not seen it, so
you should watch it.
I know. This is also an area that I'm struggling with exactly how to set up this this cable car line, because I have like a very specific plan for this triangle here, and it kind of involves something right in the middle this would be right in the middle of. So either the cable car's got to go around. I don't know how I'm gonna do this exactly. I'm trying to figure it out, because that kind of affects this whole thing too. You know, like where's this station gonna be? This is like a whole planning thing that we got to do here.
You got a patron here?
Happy to be your patron.
Yeah.
What up, Martin Horst? Yeah, there is some cool stuff that's only available there right now.
How do you pronounce Kobayashi? Is it Kobayashi or Kobayashi?
I think it's actually Kobayashi.
Oh, so those are both wrong.
Yeah, and also these streets are nowhere near parallel, so we need to fix this. It's kind of annoying.
A2R Gaming said, how about building a monument to the founding settlers of the colony near the entrance? Who are the founding settlers?
I'm not sure if that's been 100% nailed down, but there is something that is sort of similar to that I just finished up in an episode that's available on Patreon. That's like kind of like a monument to Mars a little bit, but that's not really the same, I would say.
Yeah, people like that idea, so you should think about it.
See, now we're getting some correct angles.
Dan Kuplinger said the monument can just be a giant walk statue.
No, there's actually a very cool custom asset that got made for this thing that I'm talking about. It was made by some of the people on the Discord. It's very cool. Animated. It's got all sorts of stuff going on.
So what are you building right now?
Well, right now I'm just trying to get the roads that are going to be the edge of this thing set up. So like over here you can see there's like this road that goes through, and the buildings like in terms of how the game functions like connect to this road, this conveyor belt. Like they require that there's a conveyor belt there, so that's what I'm setting up. Is, you know, this is the kind of early stages of planning of how you place down these conveyor belts.
This is the part that I'm really bad at, is like the like sort of structure. Like I like the decorating part.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit more of a structural
like if you do this
project.
part wrong, does the whole city does it not function?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of like things with the game that are just like common, like when you're playing the game, you know, not with mods or anything, like one of the main things you're dealing with is like traffic and like efficiency of getting things from point A to point B, and like, you know, do you have good intersections set up, and is there going to be like gridlock and things like that. And so this is kind of the equivalent of that for Mars, is like getting these things set up right, because all these roads come from somewhere and go to somewhere else, and it's like kind of got to keep track of like how many things are really connecting up to each road here, like how big of portion of the city is connected to each little road, and if too many things are gonna, and also making sure, like for example this right here, that we have a road. I'm not sure if this is going to be the road, but we have a road at the front of the building here going, this will be underground probably, but connecting up to everything.
Cool. Gavin Bledsoe said you should make a landing pad for the rockets to deliver passengers to the city.
Yes, that is a big plan for sure. I'm imagining that's gonna happen.
Lumoy's Arts seems to have like the plan. He said the spaceport will be built very late in the series. Is that true?
That is true. Yes. It's just one of those things that's going to be so big and so involved. I mean, ideally not that big, because it does get to be really tedious doing things like that. But I was, saving pretty much everything outside the dome until a little bit later on.
Oh wait, I really like this question. Miracle Novelist said, do you ever get creative block? If so, how do you deal with it? That's what I'm always wondering. Like, I don't know where you just like have this constant stream of ideas.
A good way around it has been, actually, let's just put conveyors on these. Has been like, I keep like a very big list of ideas for things to do in Mars, and so if like I'm struggling with ideas, I can go back and look through that list. And
That's so smart. I should do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to like, ideally something on the list like strikes my fancy, something cool to build. And if not, there's also a lot of other City Skylines adjacent work that needs to be done in order to, make these videos. So like a lot of times if I don't know what to build in the city, I'll just like edit an episode for, a few hours instead, or work on an asset or something like that,
Cool. He keeps saying Blazoo. Chewable Zoo said, how does the city get food? Is it an import, or are you planning on doing a food production facility?
I am planning on doing some food production facilities, but it's also one of the things that I would imagine is like there's a whole network on Mars of different places that grow food and ship to one another. So I'd imagine a lot of it comes to the city like by crate,
Cannon Fodder says, can't build on Mars without some Doom references. Maybe a UAC billboard? I'd make it if I had any digital art skills. What's a Doom?
Doom is like it's like a big popular video game, right? I think movie, video game.
Sorry, I'm trying to ask all of your questions, but I'm kind of a slow reader. Let's see. Okay, sea fights at a recreational area would definitely be cool. I have nice amenities on the top: casino, wave pool, hookah bar.
Casino, that's a cool idea.
While below an area for the slums, fighting cage, betting ring, workout area. I like those ideas.
Yeah, casino could be a cool thing to build. It'd be fun. But like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to be building that's not just setting up stuff right now, because there's just like, in order to start building the upper area, we have to build the buildings around the bottom. In order to build the buildings around the bottom, we have to get like a road network going. So it's just one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing.
For 4311 said you sound almost ASMR-ish, which I think is funny.
Yeah, probably because I got the mic too close or something. Maybe we should.
Jonas Gudermuth said, do you plan some railways or something like that?
Yes, there's a plan for that. What up, Marco Knock? How's it going, man?
Marco Knock.
Yes.
Where's?
Right there. Marco Knock.
Oh. Lumoy's art said that
Yeah, we should
be
be
ashamed of
Yeah,
ourselves.
I know. I saw that. Yeah, well, what can you do?
We got some other slow readers here. Plushy play. Peter K said rails or maglev. I don't know what that is. Outside the dome to connect to outlying structures would be awesome.
Maglev is like a type of train or like monorail. It's like where it floats. But there is a very well thought out plan of what that is going to be, and it's not going to be a maglev.
Interesting.
It's coming soon.
I like this question. Dan Kuplinger says, how are the dead disposed on Mars? I would like to know that too.
How are the dead disposed of? I've got some pretty brutal plans for that, I think.
Well, these people really want to know everything.
Did you see $2 had a reference to your Mars series on the radio in the latest driving video? I did not. I actually was about to watch that right before this, and then it was like a whole thing trying to get ready, and I didn't end up watching it. So I'll watch it right after. I'm excited to see that.
Back to the dead body collection. LQC says actually the idea of having some sort of dead body collection like crematoriums or something would be pretty cool and could be part of the lore in some way.
Yeah, I'm imagining that it's a little bit of like, there's some sort of reusing element to it, something to do with maybe some sort of fertilizer, something like that.
Sorry if I mispronounce anyone's name. Just apologizing for that in advance. Let's see. Okay, Teddy Bear builds, not to be snotty or anything, but if you read out names and stuff, you could just say Lumoy's instead of Lumoy's Arts. And for me, just Teddy. That's actually a really good point, and then maybe I wouldn't mispronounce them every time. Thanks, that's helpful.
That is true.
Yeah, it is true. Sea Fight said, I don't know if you've watched the TV series The Expanse, but in season 4 they have some pretty cool vistas of civilization on Mars if you want some more inspiration.
I have not watched The Expanse, but I've said this a number of times that it's like it's nice for me sometimes not to be taking inspiration from other places.
Oh wait, Lumoy said that. He knows you so well.
Oh, yes. Yes, because Lumoy's has heard me say it like a dozen times that it's nice to try and build, not taking inspiration from things, because I don't want it to accidentally look too much like something else, It would be nice to keep the city as unique looking as possible. And if I'm looking too much at other things for inspiration, sometimes it just seeps in.
Tristan Larcom says, love your content, keeps me entertained while deployed. Truly awe-inspiring.
Nice, man. Glad to entertain.
Oh, what's your favorite animal? Oh, dog or cat, I think. Oh, no. I don't know what those little emojis are. What's your favorite animal?
I think that's a dog or a cat. Yeah, I mean, I have a dog, so dogs are
the best.
Yeah. Dogs are good. I've owned cats before. They're very nice, but some cats cannot be nice. Is the thing about cats. I guess some dogs cannot be nice either, but some cats can really just be awful.
Are there aliens on Mars?
No, not exactly. I mean,
no aliens.
It's a cool thought because I love aliens, but
Oh, yeah.
I think that this should be a little bit more grounded in reality as we know it, you know.
Let's see. A miracle novelist said it would be cool if you made a school zone with a really low budget school towards the ground and a private school up at the top with the soccer and lacrosse fields.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on building some school stuff, but I'm not sure if they're going to be like related to each other, like the upper one and the lower one. I think they might be just in totally different parts of the city, not connected in any way. But that's not an immediate thing that's going to happen soon, but it will happen for sure.
Patrick Moat said at $2.20, I love the idea, actually at both of you, I love the idea that all the City Skyliners cities exist within the same universe.
Yeah, I think that's
winky face.
I think that's pretty cool too. That'd be cool. I'm really excited to see this this thing, $2, this radio for Mirror Video. Oh my god, this is a whole issue in here. Look at this. This is a whole interchange we gotta make. Oh my god.
So there's a little bit of a debate as to whether aliens are real. Canon Fodder said only demons on Mars, but he doesn't know Doom, so he doesn't know that. You should probably like read up on Doom. Or play it or whatever.
Yeah, to be honest, it's probably one of those things that I if I look at what it is, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's Doom. But
Lumois, I think, knows you really well. He said, now we need to make him play Doom 2016 and Eternal and watch him suck at it. LMAO. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I already got 1.5 games I play.
Ryan said, do you plan on releasing the Hyperloop assets on the workshop anytime soon? I tried looking for them, but I couldn't find them. Didn't see anything on Patreon either.
They actually are on Patreon. They're available on Patreon. They will be out eventually, probably when that episode comes.
The Hyperloop is really cool. It's my favorite part, I think.
I know. Well, I'm excited for everyone to eventually see it.
Oh, it's not out yet?
It's not out yet, no.
Oh, well, then everyone should get super excited.
So right now, I'm thinking, by what I'm doing is placing a couple conveyor belts headed towards this wall over here, because obviously we have like a whole road network going underneath this area that's going to continue underneath all of this area, and so it'd probably be good to have like an entrance and an exit to that area connected over here.
Was that a spoiler? The Hyperloop?
It's a little bit of a spoiler, yeah, but at this point it's next episode. It was already mentioned in the City Slickers podcast that came out, so.
And some people don't know like what it looks like. Or what?
Yeah, no one knows what it looks like except for what a whiff actually does, and Lumois does. But not many people do. So let's get this replaced with no sidewalk road. And obviously patrons do. Oh, let's actually place this properly before we go replacing things. So this needs to be moved. Like that. So this is obviously just a lot of setting stuff up. Starting to do this upper area, as you can tell. It is kind of the boring part, as Lulu said. But it's kind of fun if you like traffic, I would say.
If you like traffic.
Well, listen, some people
traffic.
play this game specifically for the traffic management. Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, why those people should work in like the real world, like, and help manage traffic in the real world.
I mean, yeah, I feel like some of them
is
probably
that even
do.
A job?
Yeah. This is a whole squeeze to get this in here. How are we gonna do this?
Lanoff said, how often do you encounter citizens being unable to be able to reach the necessary care centers? Do you just mod it and the citizens have instant access to make it smooth?
The care centers, you mean like services and stuff? No, I try and like actually set it up properly so that all the services work. The only exception is that I use the no fires mod because obviously fires can destroy your buildings if you don't like have everything set up 100% properly. And sometimes like I set things up, I place down a building, I don't realize that it's not technically correct, connected to the road like the right way, and so obviously problems start showing up, and then I can go back later and fix it. But if I had the no fires mod in that building, if I didn't have the no fires mod and that building caught on fire, I would just lose the building. So that's the only exception. Other than that, it all should be functioning. It's like, crime and everything, the helicopters come.
We have some traffic fans here. Benjamin Grove said traffic management is the best part of the game. I just can't believe that.
You refuse to believe it?
I refuse to believe that. LQC, fixing traffic issues in City Skylines is actually really fun. The only issue is that after setting up your custom lanes and timed traffic lights, the cars still only use one lane.
Yes,
are these like smart cars? Like
no, I mean that's like one of the main complaints about the traffic in this game is that, in real life, if you pull up to like a red light and there's 10 cars in the right lane and only, one car in the left lane, you're gonna move over to the left lane. But in City Skylines, it doesn't really work like that.
Because people aren't actually driving the cars.
And so yeah, a lot of times like you end up with citizens or with like cars only using one lane. It's really annoying, but there is ways to make it so that doesn't happen. If you do certain things to your road networks, like you can avoid that happening. Definitely.
Plus, Play wants to know how your day was.
How was my day? I've had better days, to be honest. But thanks for asking.
C-Fight, have you worked in professional video production previously? The cinematics in your episodes are always top notch.
Thanks.
Dabble.
Yeah, I mean, I know editing programs and stuff, so it's helpful.
You're good at teaching yourself stuff. That's something I wish that I was better at.
Yes, well, it's not really me teaching myself stuff as much as Google teaching myself stuff.
Yeah, but I hate going to Google for answers. Like, it shouldn't be that complicated. Let's see.
See, there's some Hyperloop talk going on.
Yeah, like, okay, A2R Gaming. The Hyperloop would be an interesting idea if it could actually work. Using Earth's sea level, atmosphere, air pressure, no known materials could survive the use. Plus, it is not needed on Mars. I thought Elon Musk was like making a Hyperloop or something.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's going very well for them though. I'm not sure if that's panning out at the moment. But we are in the future here, so anything's possible.
Lumoy said it's used for interdome Mars transport.
That is true.
And it's just kept in a vacuum. The vacuum being like the dome or whatever?
No, the tube itself is like vacuum pressured so that the train
People don't fall out.
well, no, it's so that the little car, the train, can go through it as fast as possible. Otherwise, it would be kind of like it. Having no air resistance is what makes it so fast.
Daniel L said Biffa has a whole series of fixing traffic.
He does.
Interesting.
That is true. Yeah, you basically like send Biffa your save game with like terrible traffic,
and then he fixes it.
And then he fixes it for you.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a very popular series. Maybe probably the most popular series.
I guess it is kind of fun to like watch traffic, like those videos of like how it happens. Oh look, you got
Tristan
a
Larcom. Wow, thanks, man.
That's so nice.
It's very nice of you. Let's name somewhere after you. Why don't we give you a spot on this new island, which we should look at night because it's way better at night.
Oh, look at it. It says you are amazing.
Thanks, man. Well, I can either give you this really big, tall skyscraper here, which at the moment is one of these things that I was talking about where it's like not working properly. I think there's people dead in there, but
but it's so
but
cool.
There is quite a few people live there. Or we can name this a nightclub.
That looks like
Let's do this really big building because this is really a big part of the city, and I will fix up this eventually so there's not dead people. At Tristan. I think there actually might be two inside here. Let's name them both. As you can see, there's two little dead symbols.
Does that mean there's 2 dead people?
Well, this one has 0 out of 80 households.
Why are they dead?
Because there's a problem with the road connection under here. So, like, for example, I'm gonna turn off this layer. So now you can like see through this whole island, and you can see each of these little squares is it's like a building. There's other ways to do it, but this is the way I've started doing it, where it's kind of easier to place down these little squares. And there's also roads down here that are invisible. You can kind of see the outlines of them. If I highlight, like that's one right there that should be connected to this. So I'm not sure why it's not. Just upgrade all these and make sure that all these roads are the right type of road at least.
Marco Knock is excited to see how another dome on Mars would like to be. The agricultural dome or industrial?
To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make any other domes on the surface of Mars, but I do think it's something that is part of like the story of this place. That it's like a kind of large network of different domes on the surface. But I'm not sure. I just think there's like so much in the city and going to be around the city that might be a little too much to go and start making a whole other dome, you know. We'll see.
Yeah. What a Whiff wants to know ETA until next public episode. Wait, you know why I'm asking.
It's tough to say ETA, to be honest.
Patrick Moat said, will you build a smaller emergency dome within the big dome as like an emergency shelter for the rich in case the main dome is breached? Yeah, the rich people need shelter.
That's a cool idea. I hadn't really considered that before. We'll see. That's not a bad idea. So this is not the prettiest little intersection of conveyor belts, but...
Anthony Hort wants to know if you're playing all night.
Am I playing all night? Probably not. We'll see. That's actually a little bit better. It kind of does a little... okay, now this one down here. So
it looks dangerous.
Yeah, so this is just basically a process of figuring out which of these is the railing, converting it to a procedural object, and then editing it so that the railings line up a little better. I'm probably going to place a little curve piece in that little hole there.
Santiago wants to know, does the city have a response for meteor impacts causing a loss of pressure in the dome? Maybe a helicopter squad with plates that can quickly be sealed over breaches.
That's interesting. I hadn't really thought of that. I'd imagine Mars isn't that much more at risk than Earth is. I don't really know. I hadn't really thought about it, but I don't know how much of a risk that is. Is it a big risk? Is it once in a million years thing? Well, just like a really big meteor that would require a whole task force, you know. We don't really have a meteor task force on Earth, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I feel
maybe
like
we do.
I feel like Mars could easily have like smaller meteors that come that like don't do like a whole lot of damage.
I do know Mars is much closer to that really big meteor belt that's like between Mars and Jupiter. I remember learning that at some point. But I don't know if that means they're more at risk.
Benjamin said you could make an emergency shelter that works as a natural disasters DLC bunker.
Mars has considerably more risk due to their thinner atmosphere. That makes sense because meteors don't like break up in the same way that they do here. That makes sense.
Where are you reading
that? Santiago said that.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of talk about a bunker for those rich people.
Yeah, that could be a cool idea. There's quite a few things on the list of stuff to make though. Quite a few like half-built projects around the city as well at the moment that need to be finished up before starting too many new things like what we're doing right now.
Daniel L said giant laser cannon to shoot him down before they hit. I like that idea.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. So kind of try and do the same thing as last time.
Yeah, I think missile defense system, laser cannon type.
That sounds like a lot of outside of the dome stuff, if you ask me. That sounds like a lot of stuff that needs to be written.
Wait, are you gonna build outside of the dome?
Yeah, but not. I want to try and get a good chunk of the city done before I go out there, because it's
How big is it out there?
It's incredibly big.
So you could just build forever.
Yeah, because that's like part of the. There's two or three major issues with building outside the dome. One of it is, yes, I could build forever, so I have to probably figure out a good limit of like how much detail I should put into anything out there. And the other, here, I'll go out here. It's like so big. See how much space is out here?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So like, obviously, I've spent 6 months on this right here. And there's like 100 more of that size thing out. It's just like so much more space out here. And so like it can't ever be that detailed. So
yeah.
How is it going to be a couple things out there that are very detailed? Is there going to be a lot of stuff that's not quite as detailed? If you ask me, it's not quite as rewarding building things that aren't as detailed as they could be. So I don't know. We'll see. And then the other issue obviously is. The city uses helicopters instead of like police or ambulances, and so the helicopters, I'm not sure if there's a good way to stop them from flying through the glass of the dome to get out there. There's no way for them to know like, okay, I can't fly out here. This has to be a different type of service vehicle for out here. We have to figure out some sort of like rover or whatever, So I don't know how I'm going to stop things from flying through the dome. So like, does everything out there have to be a procedural object? Like everything? There's nothing functioning out there at all? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, well, I wasn't looking to you for answers, okay. But I'm just saying the problems that I'm anticipating, before moving out there, because
sure.
there will be some problems. that have to be addressed.
Imran wants to know how do the crates know where to turn? Is it motorized or is there something at the intersections?
I mean, I'm imagining that was a kind of question that I was having, like when I was making these in the first place, like the design of the conveyor belts and these railings and things. And my thought was that I would be using a lot more of these pieces, and so like at every junction it would go into like a little box, you know, and it would come out a different side, and it would all kind of just be hidden. But those are a little repetitive if you use them over and over, so I haven't been doing quite as much of that as I initially thought I would. So I think it's one of those things that's just to some extent we have to use our imaginations.
John Paul G said, wow, seeing the amount of work that goes into the city behind the scenes is quite surreal. Really love your vids.
Thanks, man.
That's nice.
I'm sorry this is, you know, we're just building we can you know, we can change to something else if this is getting boring for other people besides just Lulu.
Yeah, I feel like my opinion should not matter here.
Hey Skib, what up? Good morning.
Skibbeth.
How's it going?
Yay. Patrick Moat said that you definitely need a Matt Damon growing potatoes. I think that's true.
We also need Matt Damon from that other movie that he's in, Elysium, right?
Like all the movies he's in space. Like
yeah.
all 10 of them. Rust Bucket wants to know, do districts have a no-fly option? Maybe you could make everything outside the dome a no-fly district.
I don't think that's a option as far as I know. Prove me wrong, that'd be great.
Benjamin wants to know how the city heats itself, because it's really, really cold on Mars, apparently.
I would imagine electricity. I don't know. I haven't really gotten into some of the nitty-gritty services like that. There are a couple of them, like the water I did do, and that was it, maybe? I don't know. It's one of the things that's, if it isn't, it should be on my very long list of stuff that needs to get built eventually.
Everyone's saying hi to Skibbeth.
Yes, well, Skibbeth's
famous
celebrity. How's it going, Skib? Been a nice morning coffee, I hope. Okay. So I guess we can, now that the conveyor belts are sort of together.
Wait. Sorry, I just need to read this one. Silchuki said, you mentioned a poop rock thing in City's Skickers.
City Slickers, yeah. Fossilized sea turtle poop.
What's a poop rock?
No, he's talking about fossilized sea turtle poop. No, I don't have that. Skib, to answer your question, what are we building today? I did a little straw poll. What should we build? And the result was to start a new upper island. And so it's been so far all we've done is made these conveyor belts around the edge, and we're about to start placing down just some temporary buildings, and then we can start building this upper island.
What's a PH?
John Paul G, thank you for the donation.
Yay!
That's very nice of you.
Thanks, John.
Let's name a place after you. Maybe this one, at John Paul G. Thanks, man.
Oh, he was just dropping by to say hi.
Well,
but
hello.
Now he's leaving.
I'm glad you stopped by.
And Skibbeth literally just woke up and he's laying in bed.
Wow. So Secrets from the Oven is probably watching as well.
Is that when Secrets of the Oven airs?
No, I'm saying that means Secrets of the Oven's probably there, right? I assume.
Oh.
He's just waking up.
Yes.
Secrets in the oven? Of the oven? For the oven?
Well, what is it?
I think it's secrets in the oven. I don't.
Should get it straight. Tell her hi.
Okay, so we need to make like a little. Maybe this could be some sort of alley going through here. That could be cool. Maybe we'll make an alley.
Wait, sorry. Is this the? This is the upper part, right?
Well, no, because what I have to do is kind of place buildings around the whole edge of this place in order to be able to figure out like where this upper part stuff can even go. So, like for example, over here, you know, obviously all this upper stuff is on top of these buildings, and so I had to place these buildings down first, and then start placing down all this upper stuff.
So like the poor people buildings go down first, and then
yeah, they're kind of the foundation of it all.
Flatch cop. Did not say that right. I don't know what that is. Said a ring of solar panels around the dome. I think that sounds cool.
Yes,
and
that is
energy efficient.
Definitely my plan. Oh, autosave.
I have.
Boom.
There's some issue with. Is this a super chat? This thing?
What?
Is it Thalana?
I have no idea how super chat works, but never sent one before. But if you don't get the first one or the second, I end up getting them both. It's all it freezes for some reason right after sending. Oh boy, I'm sorry. It hasn't come through at all for me. But
that's lame.
That there was one time I remember.
Secrets in the oven.
Secrets in the oven is here. Wow. Yeah, there was one time I remember like trying to pay for something and clicking, and it wouldn't like click through to confirmed or whatever, and I ended up checking my credit card the next day, and I had bought it like 5 times. So just make sure you don't do that, because never want that.
Secrets in the oven. I've seen a couple of your videos, and they're amazing. I haven't made any of them yet, but I really want to. They look so good.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the coffee thing. Yeah, I haven't tried it either, but I saw that and I was like, my mind was blown. I could not believe it.
Patrick wants to know, did you ever watch Fluxtrance's Avalon series? I feel like this series is its natural successor.
I definitely watched the Avalon series, 100%.
Is that another city's Skylines?
Yeah. No, I remember watching that and being like, wow, you can do some really crazy stuff with this game. And then that was one of the things that led me to making this series, I would say, was the fact that he was able to do what he did in that. Some pretty crazy stuff. It's like a really big cyberpunk city that he made. It's like very cool. Futuristic. Yeah, it's super cool. But
I feel like yours isn't quite cyberpunk, but it's like definitely. I mean, it's obviously very futuristic, but
yeah, it's not quite cyberpunk.
I don't know. Maybe in the
cyberpunk is very cool and very in these days as well with this big game coming out.
I don't know what game you're talking about.
There's a really big video game called Cyberpunk that's about to come out. It's about to be the next big game.
Is it about like cyberpunk?
I feel like I showed you the trailer, didn't I?
I don't recall.
Keanu Reeves is in it.
Oh yeah, you did. That was cool actually. I feel like I would enjoy that.
Yeah, I was even talking about getting that game, even though I don't play those kinds of games. With like.
Benjamin wants to know, do you know why Fluxtrans stopped the series?
I think he just had other things come up in his life. I'm not sure if it was because he didn't want to do it anymore. I think just sometimes, you know, it's doing these videos is a little bit of a labor of love sometimes. And if something really important comes up in real life, you know, I can imagine that he would need to, drop it or whatever. So it's sad, but because that series was great. But it is what it is sometimes.
Secrets in the Oven said they're drinking the Dalgona coffee twice per day.
Wow.
Sounds amazing. Miles Crisp. Yours is utopian versus dystopian. I honestly can't say that I.
Yeah, it's a
know
little bit
the
of
difference.
both. They're opposites. It's
Oh, right.
It's polar opposites.
Right.
What's the difference?
Oh, Get Alive said, did you read my idea to use Kerbal Space Program on the last one? Oh, yeah, I did read that.
Yes, I saw that. I actually, I really enjoy Kerbal myself. Could be cool to figure out a way to incorporate that. Kerbal 2, though, is really what I'm waiting for. I think that is going to be
Kerbal 2?
very
Are
cool.
they updating?
Yeah, it's going to be like a whole new game. The Kerbal 1, you know, it's like a lot of it relies on mods in the same way that City Skylines does, and from what I hear, they've just like incorporated a lot of the best mods into the actual game and updated the graphics and made the solar system way bigger. It's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening.
Well, word on the street is that Flux Trance got another job, and so he's really busy, according to some people.
Yeah, I would believe that. I would definitely believe that. Sounds like pretty realistic.
Yep.
So this is obviously going to be covered up, this little station here, eventually. But I think maybe, you know, I'm just trying to get the outline of these buildings down a little bit now. Yes, he got lost in an interchange. I feel like I showed you that interchange that he made. It was like all sorts of spirals and like it was super crazy and thought out and like.
I feel like you've showed me a lot of those, but
well,
there were some very cool ones.
yeah, I think the one that you're thinking of is probably the Flux Trance one. He did some crazy stuff with some train stations as well. Really crazy.
What do you think about making a basketball court for the lower area, for the poor people?
That could be cool. Secrets in the Oven. You should get on the Little France commentary.
That's so sweet. We're sweet together.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Secrets in the Oven on Skip's channel sometime soon.
Yeah, that could be fun. I think I need to watch one of those live streams.
What?
Skibeth's live streams.
Yeah, well, she's not on it though, but Skip does have some classic live streams.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Yeah, they're really good. If anyone hasn't seen Skibeth's live streams, you should check them out. Skibeth is great at live streaming. Way better than me. He's always like so chipper. He's like, welcome, welcome, welcome. Like, hello, wow. You know, like.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're the most like chipper of people.
No.
Neither am I really, but.
I feel like I shouldn't even be subscribed to this building. There's no use for this in the city because it's too tall for down here and it's like too short and too like square for the upper areas.
Lumoy said that we should commentate a France episode and they should commentate on a Mars episode.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
That would be funny. There's some talk about fusion power. Don't know what that is.
It's nuclear power.
According to Tristan said, according to Stanford University, the best source of power to colonize Mars would be nuclear compared to the solar power. However, both have massive pros and cons. Definitely interesting read, though.
Yeah, that's what V. Merrick was saying.
Oh, where is he?
I think he's asleep. But he was. He did some calculations. He did all this stuff, trying to figure out how big a solar farm would need to be in City Skylines for it to power a city of this size. And it would need to be really, really big, is what the conclusion was. Like way too big.
Skibba said he's gonna build a restaurant because
Yeah.
the streets are like so cool and different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Skibbeth really likes his traffic, I would say, and he did this really awesome build where he like had a part of the street like torn up, and all these pipes exposed from the street, and like
it sounds
a
cool.
truck like half in it, like it fell into the collapsed street. And
classic Paris, am I right?
yeah.
Actually, no, I don't know if that's right, but Patrick Moat, did you ever consider making a hidden speakers corner area where there's like an illegal anti-walk industry rally happening out of view from the police?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could have some interesting stuff in this particular alley that we're building now, to be honest. Because I'm thinking that this upper area, now that we're starting to like kind of build it and get it set up, it's like a lot of it's going to be mostly here, and then maybe like a little like stepping stone here on top of this little section, and then like it'll connect to a really large area over down here at the bottom. So we'll have an alley going right through the middle.
Cool. Sorry, I feel like I'm gonna lose all these questions if they go up. Andrew Lingo said, "Hi guys, an idea for Mars. A disaster type scenario on both levels that gets massive support on the upper levels and just forgotten on the lower level." Or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I actually am in the middle of building something that's vaguely similar to that.
Internet issues.
Uh-oh. It says excellent connection over here. It seems, I don't know.
Lumoy said reload page for anyone affected. Maybe that'll help.
I did actually have my last... Oh, yeah, right here. It says 2 minutes ago, stream was disconnected attempting to reconnect, but it seems fine now on my end. Sorry, everyone. We know what we were getting ourselves into.
Lumoy said that's why it takes forever for our comments to be read. They're on Mars. Yeah, that's true. No, mainly it just takes a long time because I'm a really slow reader. So I wait till the comment gets to the top of the box before I can read it.
No, you gotta read it from the bottom.
I know, but they come in so fast I can't
just
keep up.
No, you got it.
I mean, I'm trying. Mild Steel said, plus using nuclear power to run the city could also potentially be used for heating. Bleed off the steam from the turbines in the power plant into a heat exchange system. There's a lot of like technical talk going on. Like, I don't understand it.
Well, yeah, it's a big part of this project. It's figuring out if it's gonna be plausible. Because that was like, I remember in Kobayashi Island, I'd made this airport, and it was like the video that was definitely my biggest video at the time, but so many comments about how I placed the like thing that connects from like the walkway or whatever that goes from the terminal to the airplane, like that you walk through, whatever it's called, the jet bridge. I had them all on the wrong side of the airplanes. Apparently they only go on the right side, and I got reamed for that one. So since by like 80 people in the comments. And since then I've been like, okay, maybe I should put a little bit more effort into that. Oh, it looks like we're loading over here.
What does that mean?
That means the internet is going out.
It's not good.
Well, if it continues, I don't know if anyone can hear me. If it continues being a problem, no, it seems like there is no internet at the moment. Yep. Are we there? No. If it continues being a problem, maybe we'll call this stream early. I don't know if anyone can hear me, but...
Lumoy said just be patient.
Easy for Lumoys to say.
The internet is the worst. Am I right?
Yeah,
you have good internet. I don't know what's going on.
This is a brand new router too, is the thing. Like, I just got this router this week, so I don't know what the deal is. YouTube doesn't seem happy.
Some people say that you're back.
What a
Stream's
nightmare.
Back. Does it like cut out?
Yeah, like clearly it just like does like a pinwheel, and then all of a sudden we're talking about something else. Yeah. So, you know, If it keeps being an issue, I think we might have to call the stream. But hopefully not.
Lunoise says to be patient, so we should be patient.
Yeah. This shouldn't be like office-looking buildings. Like this should be. I know we started off by saying build the upper area, but now it's turning into placing lower area buildings. But that's just how it goes. But since we're doing that, like this should be like a seedy alley, you know, or
Yeah,
maybe
like,
it should be like an alley with like a bunch of signs in it, like neon signs.
Yeah, like when do we get to put the decorations?
Well, I think doing a build like this is not your decorations kind of build.
Not my kind of build.
No. Well, now we know you don't like doing the setup work.
I mean, I think I knew that before.
Like, I'm imagining like a bunch of these types of signs in here, you know what I mean? So let's find all the buildings that look like this.
Secrets in the Oven says she loves watching the Mars series. It's simply from another galaxy. What you're doing there, the way you create your videos, it's epic.
Thanks, Secrets in the Oven. We're really big fans of yours, obviously.
We
If
are.
you hadn't been able to tell.
There's so much talk going on about like weather. It's crazy. Energy, fission, and fusion.
Yes, two different types
I remember
of...
learning about those, but then I forgot them pretty much immediately.
So I'm just trying to find all the buildings that I can. In the lower areas, maybe not so much.
Oh, look at.
Wow, Tristan again. Thanks, man. Let's name something else after you. But I have a fantastic rest of your stream.
Thanks.
So
Sorry,
thank
so
you. Yeah, it is. No,
Thank
it
you
is
so
your.
much.
And I hopefully see you in the next one.
Oh, it stopped again.
Let's name this big building after you. Thanks, Tristan. It's really actually fun, like clicking on these people and seeing where they're going, because it's starting to be. I mean, yeah. See, this guy's going to. He lives at Steger.
I think it cut out again.
Let's give it 2 more cutouts. That if it cuts out twice more from now, I think we should maybe just call this a short stream.
Rust Buckets at the Refresh Works.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to have a stream with a million, cutouts, and
Yeah, that would be annoying.
it's annoying to watch back on YouTube
Oh, look,
afterwards.
skip it.
Skibbeth, man, what are you doing? Come on.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. You already have your whole own area, so we're gonna.
You should name the whole area like Skibbeth Town or something.
Name a bunch of these in here. Oops, you have to, I think, hit enter for it to really work. You can't just click away. There's quite a few buildings inside this building. So it'd actually be easier if I turned the layer off. Oh yeah, quite a
Mount
few.
Skibbeth. I like that. It looks like it would be called Mount something.
Yeah, that's a good name. Should we change? No. I mean, we could change it to Mount Skibbeth. Who said that? Skib?
No, Teddy Bear Builds, I thought. Or Dome Skibbeth. Skibbeth Memorial Town.
Yeah, Skibbeth Heights. There's quite a few buildings in here. I think that's quite enough, Skib. That was like 15 buildings. Really though, you're Skibbeth. You don't need to be. Okay, so let's just place a few more buildings. Why don't we? Maybe there's even more buildings that look like.
Skibnasium. These are good.
Gymnasium's great, actually. So, same deal on the other side?
So you're just plopping down some buildings?
Yeah, well, actually, now that we have, at least one, full block here, I think we actually can probably start
Look at
placing down the upper area.
making my
Maglite.
cat watch your stream too.
Good kitty.
Aw.
Thanks, Maglite. What should we name after you? Maybe this big building here? No, that's already someone's. Maybe this big one. We'll do this whole corner here. And this, no, that one's already. So this one right here. Oh, it didn't go through. I wonder why it does that. It's so hard at getting it to click in. Perfect.
Wait, Maglite's cat's name is Ripley. Could you use that instead?
Oh, yes. Ripley, believe it or not. That's a great cat name.
That is a good cat name.
I know someone whose name is Ripley. There's a lot of puns that you can do with that,
It's not a common name.
It's not a common name, and it's also a very well-known, uncommon name, I would say.
Because of
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
But is that his first name?
That's probably his last name, right?
I don't know. Cannon fodder. I made you 2 Doom-themed billboards. They're on Discord.
You made 2 Doom-themed billboards. Okay, I'll check it out after the stream. And I'll obviously have to go make sure I know what Doom is after the stream as well, right?
Oh wait, named her after the protagonist of Alien?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
that is,
I thought that...
No, her name is definitely Ripley. What just happened? Are we auto-saving? Why did it do that? Yes, we are auto-saving. Give it a minute.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Big long autosave.
The pipelines are so organized. They are really organized.
Yeah, they kind of have to be, I would say. It's gonna look weird if they're not.
Pipelines would not be organized.
Is that the right vibe in there? It's kind of almost too narrow. And a little bit too samey. Whatever, we can deal with that later. Let's just start with this upper area.
Josh Sharp, do you see $2.20's reference to Walk Industries in the driving video radio?
Someone else mentioned that. I got to check it out. I haven't watched that video yet. Like I said, I was about to right before this stream, and I ended up having to spend a while doing other things.
Wait, this is funny. Patrick said, being someone doing a PhD in urban planning, this city's planning is like a beautiful train wreck I can't look away from.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point, right? It's like supposed to be like in some ways very planned out, but in other ways just like thrown together,
It does look like organized chaos for sure.
So this right here will be a walkway that gets us to this area, right? So these are the railway siding pieces that are by Revo or Ronix, I forget who. Look real quick.
Oh wait, God is here. I remember God from last time.
Revo made all of these, so these are very useful. And then obviously, using the Electrix road tools So the general way that I do this is I make like a little dot with the, a new node with the Eclectrics road tools, and then drag out the end and bend it into place, and then make another dot.
Skibbeth had a question about, is there a radio station on Mars? We're getting some answers here, but...
That could be cool. I haven't thought about it, really.
Ooh.
Guns and
Guns
Chips.
and Chips. That's a fun name.
From New Zealand as well. That's also fun. Thanks for the 20 New
So
Zealand
nice.
dollars. It's very
What
kind
are
of you.
New Zealand dollars called? Because they're definitely not called dollars. Or are they? No.
I think they're dollars. I'm not 100% sure. Guns and ships. So we just gave you one of these two really big buildings here on this island. This one. Thanks, buddy. They are dollars. That's what I thought. That's why they use the dollar symbol.
Dollars. But they're not American dollars.
No, I mean, other places have dollars, right? Australia has Australian dollars, I believe. Canadian dollars, right? Right?
I really don't know. Sorry. Patrick said that I imagine the radio station on Mars is just Walk Industries propaganda on loop 24/7.
Yes, and yeah, stuff like that. That would be my guess as well.
Haha, wait, he said, yeah, it's not €2, 20.
It's true, actually.
See,
Very
I
true.
would have thought, because, like, I don't know him, I would have thought they were, like, American dollars, but I guess they're not.
No, the reason I always can remember that Australians use dollars is because there's a Simpsons episode where they go to Australia and they call it dollary dues. And I'm always remembering that. So, there's one connection to that area. We'll have a connection over to this area, right? And then this is going to be open, I'm planning, so we won't do a connection here. But this needs to connect probably to this spot. So that's what we'll do next, I think. Take that, make some new nodes, delete, and pull this out. And we gotta get this looking kind of, there's some weird angles going on.
I like the curve. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it was just like different size curves in sort of a weird way. I mean, it's still pretty weird, to be honest. That's not terrible. Kind of horseshoe shaped.
It's okay. Grunts wants to know if Mars will have any religious organizations.
It could. One of the suggestions, I mean, I've actually gotten a number of suggestions on that topic. I'm not like
Like a church or something?
yeah, or like some people suggested like sort of like a secret, like forbidden maybe religion or actually this is not really working for me, I think.
Sorry, you can put it back the way it was.
No, I'm more dealing with this over here. Like, I think we maybe have to disrupt this island a little bit more in order to get this, like, going. You know what I mean? Like, it should maybe be a larger connection here. Because I was just going to have a little path here, but I think they should kind of just be...
Oh, I see. Those are, like, where you're putting the road on top.
Yeah, so, like, in between right here and
That's
right
where the
here,
road goes.
it'll look like this over here. It'll
That
look like
makes
this concrete
Oh,
and
well then,
whatnot.
yeah, I think it looks fine. I thought they were just, like, hanging out there like that.
Skib, is there any roundabouts on Mars? Yes, there's some that are part of the central sorting exchange.
Is that, like, an inside joke? or
Well,
something?
Skibbeth really, really likes roundabouts and traffic stuff.
Another traffic lover.
So, he's probably just curious would be my guess.
The Mars resistance is something that already exists, but I don't think it's religious at all. So that's a little nice. Should I go read this like wiki thing?
Maybe.
Because it has like all of the backstory.
Yeah, I mean, the wiki actually is it's in the middle of getting updated. Wait, why is there no railing on these pieces? Have we been using the wrong railway siding pieces this whole time? Let's try upgrading.
Steger also likes traffic, and he's studying civil engineering.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people who play this game love traffic. That's just what it is.
It's just so weird to me. I mean, it's cool, but
well,
I just hate
it's
traffic
fun.
so
I mean,
much.
It sucks being in traffic, obviously, but
like the concept.
It's trying to solve traffic is what the enjoyment is. It's seeing traffic and trying to figure out.
No one has solved the problem.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but there was one day, maybe like 5 years ago, when they implemented a new timed light system here, and like that day, like the traffic just got way better from then on. Like it took like just slightly less time to get everywhere because the traffic lights were timed up better. I don't know if you remember that. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. But I remember being shocked, like I was driving to work or something, and all of a sudden one day it was just a 10-minute shorter drive to work every single day, no matter what. It was great.
I mean, that sounds nice.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the goal.
I just feel like when you put humans on the road together, like there's no solution to that. Like, I feel like we just always mess everything up.
Yeah, well, it was actually interesting watching that Mythbusters that we watched recently, because we watched like an old episode of Mythbusters, and it happened to be the one where they
do the traffic.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out stuff about traffic, and there's like a cool experiment that they did with cars driving in a circle, and like one of the cars would brake, and there would be like 20 cars all following each other in a circle, and you could see like the waves of what happened because the one person braked. It's very interesting.
Get a Life said, "There's terrible weather in South Africa. We're having blackouts again, and we're still in lockdown, so thanks for cheering me up this morning."
Oh boy.
Glad to help, because you know what? I feel that lockdown life is not so fun.
Yeah, we were just complaining about it
right
before this. How terrible. How it's starting to feel like a routine, which is not fun.
To me, I was saying the worst part about it is that before, that's all everyone talked about, and now people have sort of stopped talking about it, and so it's starting to feel like more normal, and I don't want it to be normal, so it's making me sad.
So right now I am raising up a bunch of terrain. It looks a little glitchy at the moment, but ideally we'll get it looking not glitchy, just so that it's like we have like an upper area that we can do stuff with. Like maybe we could even place down water in here, if the terrain is big and flat enough.
Self-driving cars are the answer, according to Strategy Nerd, for traffic.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of movies where that's like a part of the plot, like some really bad movies. I think there was one with Shia LaBeouf in it where that was there was all the cars were self-driving, and some terrorist or something was in the code trying to make all the cars hit each other. Yeah, I think that happens in Fast and Furious too.
Yeah. Patrick wants to know what would happen if there's a pandemic on.
Listen, we don't need to be talking more about
That's
pandemics.
true. We got on here to forget the problems of the world, so we're not going to talk about any pandemics on Mars.
You tell him.
Yeah.
This is a of space up here.
What are you gonna put up there? Or is that hasn't been decided?
That hasn't been decided. I think that's not going to be
that's
something that we address this
person. I mean, the rich person area.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Yeah, basically, like, you can see, for example, like here, it's the exact same deal where we have lower buildings, and then we have this railing, you know, and then there's a bunch of upper buildings in the middle. So that's kind of what, you know, that would be the equivalent over here. Here we just gotta build some more railings on the side.
God said that he said, "Hey Lulu, you could do Sims 4 live streams, like building houses and stuff. Assuming you've played it." I played Sims a really long time ago. I feel like it's probably advanced since the last time I played it. When I played it, there wasn't really building houses, more just like plopping them down. Maybe that's what you mean, I don't know. But do people want to watch Sims live streams? I feel like that's probably a thing.
Hard to say. I've never Googled it. I don't know. I assume there's an audience for all games, would be my assumption.
Yeah, probably. I guess like stuff like happens in Sims. Like there's a lot of drama. You can make your own Sims like soap opera.
Yeah, I bet you could do a big backstory and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to be like, okay, this person IP stream.
Okay, so that's one
Number
more.
one.
Yeah, it's number one. One more, and we're
That's really annoying. Oh, it's back. It seems like the reload fixes it.
That's what we're fighting. Okay, so one more little hiccup like that, and I think that'll be.
They're trying to keep it secret from you, so you don't leave.
That's funny.
They want you to stay.
So I think actually this is all too high. This should be more like down this height, and we need to lower all that terrain again, which is kind of annoying. Does Elon Musk exist in this universe? That's a funny question. Hard to say.
I feel like he would live there.
Yeah, maybe.
Lumoy said, "Sorry to be a party pooper, but I kind of have to do what he asks." Why is that?
What is that in reference?
I think for the internet connection.
Well, we'll try and keep it going. Okay, do we have all of the nodes? I think we do. We can lower it.
Santiago said, "If you don't have plans for the upper area yet, can I suggest a terraforming research center, maybe with tree nurseries and soil experiments?"
That could be cool. I don't think for this area specifically, but yeah, that could be cool. Building something like that. That could be like sort of like a mini build, maybe like outside the dome, like in a very small sort of dome.
Oh, look at
Alex Florimbio. I love the way that this project is starting to look. Keep up the good work. Good luck, my man. I think it would look awesome if you added a fusion reactor outside of the dome. Yeah, I think that's definitely a plan. I'm definitely planning on doing that at some point once we get out there, which is a whole thing. I appreciate it, man. Let's name him. I think I noticed that this building doesn't have a.
That's a cool building.
Yes, this is a nice big one. Can't really be giving away all these. Pretty soon they're all going to be gone. These skyscrapers. Did I spell that right?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Wonderful. Thanks, buddy. fusion or fission, you know, there's a whole argument, obviously.
This was had earlier, I feel like. This is a
I always
popular
even get
topic.
confused about which one is which because they sound so similar. So
It's true.
it's the kind of thing I'm gonna get some advice, I think, before I start building it on how it would work and what would be the most realistic. So we'll get to that eventually, but it's sad to say it is not going to be in the near future.
Yeah, people really want to talk about this fusion versus fission.
Yeah, well, it's a fun topic because, you know, one of them is very much like a theorized thing. It's fun talking about that kind of stuff. You don't know if it's ever gonna
Bye,
work.
Rust Bucket.
Later, Rust Bucket. Take it easy.
Yeah, I forgot a lot of what I learned in science class.
Yeah, I mean, it is stuff that is like Googleable, you know.
Yeah, but when am I ever thinking like, oh, I should
I don't know.
look into fission? Like, I have no need for that.
I look into it
information
sometimes.
in my brain.
Look into stuff like that. How did I first discover City Skylines originally? I'm pretty sure it was my roommate had someone staying with us for a couple days who's like really into gaming and stuff, and I'm pretty sure he suggested it along with Kerbal, and I think I got Kerbal on his suggestion and played it for a really long time. And then I think maybe City Skylines was in my wish list for a really long time. It took me a while to get it, but I'm pretty sure it was because of him. Okay, put me onto Kerbal and this.
I remember your Kerbal phase.
Because I think he saw me playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 or 3. And was like, oh, you know what? There's better games than this nowadays. Kerbal's really fun, to be honest. I'm very excited for Kerbal too.
I liked Kerbal.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I think you could make very similar videos as like a City Skylines type video for Kerbal. I'd imagine there's a whole bunch of people making Kerbal videos too. So in case you don't know, what I'm placing down is these support thingies that I made that basically on the bottom they're kind of like arches, and on the top they're just concrete, and the point is that number one, it looks good from the bottom, but number two, the useful part about it is that you know, obviously when you're placing stuff on terrain, like props and trees and things snap to it, but if you have the prop snapping mod, there's some buildings and things like this that trees will snap to it. So it makes it so that instead of having like a big cliff here where you know, you try and place something down, it snaps all the way down to ground level, this like blocks the thing and makes it so that you can very easily place stuff this high up. In case you're wondering.
I was wondering that.
Were you?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it.
Santiago. Idea number 2. For that upper area, an institution of higher learning. Walk Institute of Technology. I like that.
Yeah, that's been a big suggestion, is like a university.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like you just need like more activities and places to go and things to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think I can't really be building many more generic things. Autosave or something. I think I need everything I need to build from this point
Has
on
to have a
has to
purpose.
be a thing, you know? Yeah, we're definitely autosaving.
You got a dislike on your video.
Uh-oh.
It's probably because of me.
Everyone hates Lulu.
Hey. I feel like if they hated me, they would say something. These people are pretty outspoken.
Or they would just leave a dislike.
Yeah.
So these don't really line up over here, at least. These railway siding pieces. It's like so many little nodes here.
See, Lumois agrees. People didn't like me. It would be known.
Something a little more like that. Just perfectly lining it up.
Skull Widget. That's a really cool name. Are you gonna build walkways around the glass dome, like directly attached to the frame?
That's definitely something I hadn't considered.
That's a really cool idea.
That could be cool. Get your nice view of Mars.
Yeah, that's like my favorite idea.
Yeah, I
so
do think
far.
if there's going to be parks up around the edge, which is one of the ideas I've had, then it would make sense to have some sort of thing where you can look out at the surface of Mars, you know? So these obviously aren't lined up either. Kind of annoying. Nothing ever lines up perfectly. So we'll do a little bit of that. Have to make a ramp.
Yeah, that would really annoy me.
That it's not perfect. What is this thing? It must be part of this building. Maybe we can put a tree over that or something. This little pole.
Yeah, just cover it up with some plants.
Okay, so we have a good portion of this area. I guess we gotta fill this in. It's probably the next step.
God wants to know if we're still doing the university idea. I think that's happening at some point.
We'll see. I mean, it's definitely one of the things that is down the road. Oh wait, I can't be taking this piece.
Guns and chips. I have an idea for something outside the dome. A crashed Mars lander impact site. Like two have already crashed, so surely for more would before a city is built.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do stuff like that out there. It's just such a long ways off, you know? So we'll see when we end up getting
Write
this
it
stuff.
in your little notebook or whatever.
Yeah, my little list. Oh, these don't line up either. This lines up the wrong
Oh,
way.
look at Galactic Player.
Thanks, buddy. Galactic Player, man. Appreciate the $5. Let's give you maybe a good building. Some of these aren't buildings. Like, it'd be cool to give you this one, but it's not really a building. It's more of a cable car stop in actuality. Maybe this one here. This guy. That Galactic Layer. Capital. Thanks, man.
Sea Fight. I don't know if you saw my suggestion earlier, but it would be cool if you could make a satellite asset model for the airplane vehicles so you could see them flying around in the sky.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Did I miss
Guns and chips. Take it easy, man. It's good having you here. Have a nice evening. Yeah, there's already actually some models proposed, some 3D models that have been sort of put together for a thing like a spaceship type thing on the outside of the dome. But like I said, all that stuff is really a long ways out from actually happening.
Yeah, people really have a lot of ideas for like outside the dome.
I know, isn't that funny? Everyone seems to have an idea
because
for
I feel
outside
like
the dome.
you know, it's like the dome is like a one place on Mars.
Yeah, there's
So,
just like so many more things that could be
yeah.
out there. Yeah. Well, we'll have to, you know, I mean, we're gonna have to get out there eventually. There's gonna be some fun stuff out there, I think. We are actually closing in on getting pretty far. Where did that guy just go? Must be this. No, I don't know. Yeah, it must be this. Getting pretty close to, not close, but you can really see some definitive progress, like in the most recent episode I did, which I just released on Patreon the same time that episode 11 came out. Do a nice a new tour, you know. I think I did that once before, where I just kind of like showed the whole entire city and sort of a, you know, live kind of thing, like what's been built, what's left to build, that kind of stuff. So
what's a PO? Oh, duh. I learned that last time.
mm-hmm.
You can make everything outside the dome a PO to solve the problem with service vehicles.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. Skibbeth,
Gotta
see you
go.
later. Take it easy,
Bye.
man. It's nice having you drop by. Great having you drop by. Let's talk to you soon. A nice rest of your day. I know it just started. Yeah, so POs outside of the dome was one thought, but that's kind of lame because it'd be nice if it was like functional, you know?
Are you going to build an amusement park? Skull Widget wants to know. Maybe split in down and upstairs. Ooh. Like a roller coaster that goes from the bottom to the top part and then like back down.
That's a little extra.
Yeah, I don't really know what's possible.
Yeah, I had some thoughts about some sort of entertainment district. That's something that's on the more immediate horizon, I think. Something, maybe not an amusement park, but something that a place you would go to for your entertainment in a similar way as an amusement park.
Patrick Moat says, how are your prop and asset count levels? Do you think you'll manage the whole dome with what you've got? But then Lumoy is like, got there before me, and he responded and he said he said if props become issues, he will mass convert them to PO.
I really hope it doesn't come to that, but right now it's actually going pretty fine, to be honest. We can look at it here in a second once I'm done doing that. So PO statistics, we've got 12,000 POs, which is not ideal. It's making the loading time be kind of crazy. And then if I go Control Shift L, we can see that, where's props? 16,000. So, you know, there's some room. It's a lot higher than,
to me.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot higher than it was before, but if you see here, like the limit is 65,000. So I still have a ways to go. Been being good about it. Are there any other limits that I'm even close to hitting? Path units is usually one, or the node and segment limits is actually usually one, but I'm not even close. So 36,000 and I have 4,000. 32,000, I have 5,000.
A2R Gaming, if they rebuilt City Skylines game engine, do you think that they could allow for it to have multi-core capability to help the game run better?
I have no idea. But I feel like I've said it before. I'm very scared about City Skylines 2.
Why?
Because so much time and effort has been put into the mods of this game, and if it's gonna go back to being like a vanilla version of the game because it's a new thing and there's no mods anymore, you know, it's not really the same. Can't really do much.
Maglight 117, forgive me for asking this, but is there like a Mars City news station building in the city? You should get, oh my god, it would be so cool if you got like a newspaper, like a Mars News.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think honestly, I don't know, like this building here that we're right underneath is like really like the biggest thing in the city. Whoa, this is very different looking all of a sudden down here now that we've done that. Crazy. Yeah, look at that. It's a whole big area over there.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So this building, I'm imagining, the LODs I have turned really down, so it's kind of ugly looking at the moment, but very bright. But I'm imagining, like, you know, that kind of stuff might happen inside of here. That might be the story. Might need its own place for things like media and whatever, but it does have this really big, like, kind of radio tower at the top.
Sea Fights had asked if we're still considering the beginner series with me.
If we are, it's not going to be happening anytime soon, but
we're talking about it.
There's some concerns, but there's also some interest. We'll see. Could be cool. It was an idea I originally had for doing with like a friend and not with I mean, not that Lulu isn't a friend of mine, but I'm just saying that the idea could be with, you know, anyone. It's not like necessarily, you know, me and Lulu have to do it, but not that I'm saying that that's what would happen. I'm just saying there's a lot of things to consider about it.
Mainly, do I want to invest my time in something like that? So, it's being talked about. Okay, there's a lot of really funny names for this newspaper coming out here. The Mars Street Journal, The Martian Economist, New Walk Times. Keela wants to know what you think they should add in City Skylines too.
All that I care about is that the mods and the assets are brought over. It'd be such a shame if people spent so long making all these buildings and amazing things, you know, trains and stuff, and it all went down the toilet. So that's really all I care about, to be honest.
Meet Morris asked, will there be a part of the dome that will still be under construction?
I think that would be very cool to do. I'm definitely interested in doing something like that. Definitely. So,
what does MNN stand for?
I have no idea. So we're just trying to cover up this ramp that got created because of the height difference. Kind of hard. I also don't know if these plants should stay. I feel like they shouldn't. Like, this is a little weird.
Why not?
Well, I mean, maybe it should stay if it kind of curves around like that or something. Maybe that's what the move is. Like these line of trees kind of go bump, 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 bump this way, you know? Like a nice big circle.
I feel like you're the expert, so whatever you think.
Martian News Network. That's what MNN stands for.
Oh. Marsflix.
That's funny too.
Yeah, you should totally get a newspaper. That would be really cool. Someone should do that. Will there be multiple space? Oh, I thought he said multiple space sports, and I got really excited. But actually, he said, "Will there be multiple space ports, or just one for?"
Just one spaceport, unfortunately.
What's been your favorite episode to make so far?
That's a good question. Well, the thing is, the episodes are there's so much stuff that gets built in it, so it might be like some parts of the episode are really fun and some parts aren't. But I think the most fun one to build was the one with the helicopter depot and the cable car depot. That was really fun. There's a lot of like very, very unique kind of builds in that one. Stuff that I had definitely never done before. So that was a fun one.
I think space sports would be hilarious. Someone should come up with a couple of those too.
I was actually, to be honest, I was thinking about this earlier today. Like, I'd imagine that sports on Mars would be
fun.
Well, very affected by the fact that there's much less gravity. Like, you probably can't like Like if you were to play basketball, I can't imagine that you would be able to like pivot and change directions.
It would be so much easier to score a basket.
I mean, yeah, you could jump. You could jump really high, definitely. But like, how would like I don't know if you have as much traction to the ground because like you don't weigh as much.
That sounds annoying. So everyone's like walking around like not even attached to the ground.
Well, only a third as much.
I mean, that sounds like kind of uncomfortable, but I guess
you would just get used to it. It's like the same thing like if you're on a cruise ship for a really long time, you don't even notice the waves anymore. I imagine if you're just on Mars for a while, you just get used to it.
Santiago wants to know if this city has a military force to defend its interests or only an internal security force.
That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that before. That's something I definitely haven't thought about before. I don't know, to be honest. Might be something to consider, but that's like a whole like, geopolitics of Mars and blah, blah, blah. We'll see if that ends up being something that I spend a bunch of time thinking about.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say we have some sports recommendations,
Yeah.
but these are just Earth sports. I'm thinking like new, original, crazy sports that you would only have on Mars.
Some sort of low gravity sports.
Yeah. Would muscle atrophy be a problem on Mars? What an interesting question.
I'd imagine it would be, right?
I don't know.
That would be my guess. Water polo? That would probably be a good sport, to be honest, because I'd imagine it affects your the gravity. The gravity affects it less, right? Because you're already like basically weightless when you're playing that game.
That's a good point. Yeah, but that's an Earth sport,
This is really tedious what I'm doing. Why am I doing it like this? I should be...
Blurns ball.
Yeah.
Futurama, I love it.
Yeah. Classic.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Something like Blurns ball. Quidditch could be cool, but still that's like kind of an Earth sport just in the magical world, so I don't think that counts.
Right, this is a way smarter way to do this, except for I just moved a node I didn't want to.
You'd feel remarkably weak going back to Earth from Mars.
Yeah, that's, I would imagine. Feel very weak. Probably get made fun of on Earth. Like, haha, like, wimpy Martian, can't even take a punch,
That's sad.
Do this with slightly skinnier ones. Hand gliding
What is hand
would be cheaper
gliding?
and easier. Hang gliding, maybe?
Hang gliding. Is hang gliding difficult? Thought you just kind of hung there.
Yeah, what do you mean? You have to...
Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. Thinking of that rope that you just
Zip lining?
Zip line.
No, not the same thing. But don't you need like a lot of wind and like an outdoor space to be hang
Yeah,
gliding?
it's also really dangerous, I think.
Well, it's not that dangerous, but you might like maybe lose your kite if you aren't good at it.
Sean Muckle says, what about a Tron-style arena with futuristic motorcycle races? Could be cool.
That could be cool. It sounds very big. Sounds like it would take up quite a lot of room.
I do feel like you need like one big like stadium
Yes.
to
Well,
watch games. Like
I have actually a plan for something like that. That I was hoping to get a guest builder to come in and do that. think that'd be a fun one. But I also think this island should be a casino. I really like that idea. It can kind of lead us into like this big park back here. Maybe there's some sort of thing that they could be betting on that could be fun.
Yeah. Patrick wants to know, of all the dystopian futuristic cities and movies, which would you live in if you had to pick one?
I don't know. Maybe like one of the Star Wars ones could be fun.
Speaking of Star Wars, someone suggested pod racing.
Yeah, that could be fun. Could definitely be fun.
Yeah, pod racing does sound like a lot of fun.
I mean, that's like one of my favorite things in all the Star Wars is the pod racing scenes, to be honest. Oh, that'd be sick, actually, to get going through the outside of the dome.
They don't have that like in real life, right?
Pod racing? No. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. For some reason in my head.
Still not in. No data.
There must be a difference between when it does the spiral thing and when you refresh it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's our fault. I mean, it's our internet's fault, obviously.
Well, it's your internet's fault.
My internet's fault, yes. All right, guys. I think that's the signal that we should say goodbye.
Oh wait, but not
George
before.
L. Don't stop the stream. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll go
Do
for.
you think if they beg enough, like you'll just go forever?
We'll go for a couple more minutes, I suppose. Play some more concrete pieces down, but it's not a good sign, when your internet keeps cutting out like that.
It's like bad juju.
Yeah. Let's give you this area, George.
George L. Don't. Yeah, but he said don't stop the stream, and he donated, so like you can't stop the stream.
I know. I'll place down. I'll place down a few more things, but really though, it is 2 hours and 15 minutes. The internet is cutting in and out. I'll place down a few more of these. I don't know why anyone would want to watch me do that.
Just a few more of these cement blocks.
Yeah, this is probably like the most boring thing you could possibly watch me do.
Yeah, next time I'm on the stream, I'm gonna make sure there's something a little bit more interesting to watch.
Okay.
But actually, I'll speak for myself. Maybe everyone finds.
No,
this
I
weird.
think you're right. I maybe should have been more clear, with our straw poll, what
That's what I was
the
saying.
upper area was gonna involve.
I was saying that.
Steger, I'll see you later, man.
Like this is like infrastructure, like I want to see the buildings, like I want to see these libraries and the colleges and the sports arenas that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, I agree. The spa was a really fun one last time.
Yeah.
So, try and do something more fun next time.
Oh wait, V Merrick came.
Oh, V Merrick, what's up?
Right, in time.
Just in time for us to wrap things up. I was just placing down a couple final pieces of concrete for George over here. But my internet has been acting up this evening, so it's not been the most technical difficulty free stream.
Is that like a bad stream for internet, or like is that typical for these live streams?
No, it's not typical. Usually people have good internet. The part of the problem is there's no way to plug in an Ethernet cable into this computer. It's too far from the router, and there's no like in-home wiring. And I think a lot of people who stream regularly probably connect there.
Well, you should get that fixed.
Well, there's not really much I can do about it other than moving my computer back to where it was before. Good night from Toronto. Take it easy, sea fight.
Good night, everyone. Yeah, see, Lumois says, wait, you're on Wi-Fi?
Yes, Lumois is shocked and appalled, but that's how it works in my house. That's how it has to be. Unless...
Oh, look. What if said that they bought a 35-foot Ethernet?
I know, but I can't run a 35-foot Ethernet cable through the middle of my house.
Why not?
Because there's other thing, you know, like it would need to be on like the ceiling or like on the floor. Like there's, it's like it would really be a whole thing.
Yeah.
Needs to like cross a big area. It's not really possible.
Bruh. Wait, I really want to know. Bruh, what?
Just for streams? Just run it across the house just for streams? Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not a terrible idea.
Run the Ethernet cable. Give the people what they want.
Alright, guys. I don't want to fill this in yet because I think this area should be built before we just like cover it up completely. So I think this is a good stopping point. Look at this upper island that we've created. It's beautiful. It's massive. It's like so big.
So empty.
Super empty. So guys, thanks for coming along. This has been a fun one. It's great to see you all here.
I had a lot of fun again. I'll probably be back because I don't have a lot else going on right now. So I hope to see you back here soon.
All right, guys. Thank you all. We'll do this again soon. So you know. Oh, and I think there's gonna be a fun that'll be coming out soon. So look forward to that. Bye, guys.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye.